Welcome back everybody to the Red Arrows Formula 1 League as we're here tonight for the Grand Prix here at Monza for the Italian Grand Prix, as we've got the drivers lining up on the grid here. We've got Cucumber there getting pole position by quite some way there in qualifying, doing it by about 2/10 with Shane, Honey Badger, S16 not far behind. Formula C as well will certainly be a factor here in this one. I'm sure we're in for a bit of a treat here tonight. So here we go then. The lights are going to be coming on in just a second. Here we go. The lights are on at the head of the grid, but moments away from the start of the Italian Grand Prix here at the Red Arrows Formula 1 League. And it is lights out and we are underway. And Cucumber gets a good start there off of the line and is going to lead us down towards turn one. Shane there is tucking in for the time being. Now looks to the inside here into the first chicane, as it looks like we see a bit of a lock up there from Shane onto the brakes. Looks like we're pretty clean here through the first few corners. The Haas there crawling over the curb on the inside, trying to stay out of the way of any troubles. Honey Badger's had an absolute mare at the start here. It's dropped down to P15. I think he's not at the wheel, so that's his AI in control of the car. So hopefully Honey Badger will be back in a session ASAP and can get that sorted. In the meantime, Gav Boy down the inside pushes Murph wide there over the De La Rocha chicane. Murph there rejoins. Murph there rejoins and drops behind Gav there in that one as they can come into Lesmo too. So Murph there for the time being is ahead of Gav Boy after cutting that chicane just there. But currently we've got Shane here behind Cucumber, just 0.3 of a second between these two at the moment as they're coming out of Ascari here for the first time at racing speeds down towards Parabolica. And we've got Shane here now looking to the inside of Cucumber down towards Parabolica. This is surely going to be a move for the lead of the race, and it is a move for the lead of the race there as Shane gets up the inside, goes a little bit wide there on the exit. That could allow Cucumber a run here as they come side by side here up towards the start finish line here to complete lap one, and Cucumber is just ahead here as they cross the line in front of the grandstands. We've got Angry Guns who's just moved ahead of Andrew Pittsmith here up into 14th place. That's another move there which has happened down the straight. And we've also got side by side here in the background here as it looks like potentially we could have a battle here between the Red Bull and the Ferrari of Andrew and Angst here, as Andrew's now looking to try and attack on the back of the V car, but Angry Guns can't make that one happen at the moment. Angry Guns holds on to 14th place for the time being. But I tell you what, we got Angst here. We're looking to maybe get involved in this one as well, down towards the De La Rocha chicane. A bit too far away just at the moment though, but Cucumber has the lead as ZX10 and Shane are side by side, and Shane manages to just about cling on around the outside there through Lesmo 1. That was a close call there between those two, but he's somehow kept on around the outside there, managed to hold on to the momentum there, did Shane, and holds on to third place for the time being. There's Formula C they're looking to the inside of Cucumber there into Ascari, but can't quite make anything happen just at the moment. Very exciting first couple of laps to the race here for this Italian Grand Prix. It's still Cucumber who is out in front leading the race. Honey Badger's AI I think is still at the wheel at the moment. But Formula C sizing up the Cucumber here down the start finish straight with DRS. Obviously Cucumber no DRS because he's leading the race. Here we go then. Formula C is going to make this move to the outside. Is he going to be able to get around him though into turn one as Cucumber defends that inside line, and Formula C has no way around, and potentially Shane could be feasting on the scraps here because Formula C was a little bit offline as they went through the first chicane, and he pushes Shane out wide, and Shane there loses out 3 places there as a result of that. ZX10 getting ahead of Formula C as well, so Formula C got his elbows out, ended up shooting himself in the foot as well as his rival Shane, and Shane down to 5th place, Onzi into 4th on the inside into De La Rocha chicane, gets that one done as Shane now is forced wide going through the chicane, and Shane is going backwards here in this one. He's now behind Richie Chapper. He's in 8th place now is Shane, so that has gone absolutely horrendously there for the Aston Martin driver, and the driver who set off that chain reaction for him there. Formula C currently running in 3rd place. I suppose the stewards might say that he was ahead, but I think he probably should have given Shane some space there on the exit of the first chicane, but nonetheless it's not up to me. I'm not the one who makes the decisions, but ZX10 are here on the back of Cucumber as they come down towards Parabolica once again here. But Cucumber comfortably ahead there going into the corner for the time being. There's Formula C looking to try and put some pressure on these two in what is currently the fight for the lead of the race. So here comes ZX10 now with the slipstream and the DRS is going to now just have to sit and wait a little bit longer here by the looks of it. As he looks up the inside, oh, Cucumber there. You can tell Cucumber was looking in his mirrors because the way that he was going to make the corner and then suddenly saw ZX10 coming and coasted it into the corner, kind of trail braked it. Once he saw how late ZX10 had gone onto the brakes, we can see here Shane is dropping down the order. Oh no, Shane has had a spin there going through, well, out of the first chicane. So Shane there's down to 17th place as a result of that. And it's gone from bad to worse for Shane here in this race, you have to say. It had a bit of a promising start, but it's unfortunately all gone horrendously wrong there for him. But currently we've got ZX10 here on the back of Cucumber, makes a move easily here under the old circuit, and that's at P1 there for ZX10 for the time being. Formula C still waiting in the wings behind these guys at the moment as they go through Ascari once again here. See the Ferrari there of Gav Boy is pretty close here on the back of Double Boot Neck. Honey Badger's back in the session. He's currently 11 seconds off of the back of the closest car to him at this point. So it's, well, he's got a lot of work to do here in this one, that is for sure, as Glenn has been passed there by Nobby Bootneck. Nobby Bootneck's 8th place. My mic's just fallen on the floor. So I do apologise for this, guys. But Glenn there. Losing out to Nobby Bootneck there. Nobby Bootneck now up into P8. So I'm just putting my mic back on its stand here. Sorry, guys. Jesus Christ! I just accidentally kicked the worktop that it sat on, and it's not a fixed worktop. So yeah. Anyway, never mind. Right. So we move. Anyway, we've got still Cucumber out the front. We've got Formula C. They're looking to the inside, down towards Ascari, just a little bit too far away at the moment, though. And down towards Parabolica we come once again. This looks like the top three are very tightly bunched here. Jordan Hillier is not too far away. It's ready to pounce, that's for sure. But these guys look like they're lying astern. Here we go then. So ZX10 is surely going to make the move on the Cucumber. But can Formula C get both of them here? As Corey's got ahead of Onzi. We're just seeing that on the timing screen. Cleanse into the pits here at the end of lap 5. But into turn 1 they go. ZX10 around the outside and gets that one done. Or is it done? Because Cucumber's going to get a nice run out of turn 1. Yeah, he is. So ZX10 there has got that position done up into P1 on the hard tyres as well. ZX10 compared to Cucumber on the mediums. As Shane is retired from the race. I'm not too surprised because he's a driver who, you know, fights it out for podiums week in, week out. So this is not going to be what he would have wanted coming into tonight. Was down in P16 a moment ago before retiring. I don't know if he had dropped down to 17th. Obviously Honey Badger back at the wheel now, albeit a long way behind and in desperate need of maybe a couple of safety cars here in this one to have any chance of getting back into this race. But in the meantime, the leaders are coming into Ascari here for the 6th time in this race. Looking like the McLaren there is very close on the back of Richie Chapper. Noe Bootneck here, piling the pressure here on the Sauber as they come down towards the Parabolica. He's going to use the slipstream here to breeze past him down towards the final corner, and it's going to get himself up into 7th place there. But the problem is he's now going to be giving away DRS to Richie, so that's going to make him vulnerable in a second. And Richie is just going to say, thanks for that, mate. I'll just take the position straight back off of you. And there he goes. So we're right aboard with the car behind Gav Boy, who saw that all unfold and probably was chuckling to himself as he saw Richie play Noe Bootneck, an absolute kipper there. But nonetheless, leaders here still fighting out over the P1 at the moment, obviously because it's the leaders. But Honey Badger's just on the fastest lap of the race here from 17th place. It just goes to show being in clean air really does do you wonders. Not having to worry about the car in front's braking zones or anything like that. Oh no, actually that might be the reason why he's got the fastest lap. He's just got a 10-second penalty for corner cutting. So yeah, that might explain it. Angry Guns have just got ahead of Gavboy up into P10. Although Gavboy is looking pretty close still as they come down the little straight down towards Ascari. Honey Badger's got another 10-second penalty here. But big train of cars here, battling out over P10 at the moment. Gavboy's currently trying to chase down Angry Guns. It's really 9th place actually, because Murphy's heading this train. Honey Badger's just retired from the race. Can't say I'm too surprised. He was kind of on the back foot. He was up against it from the get-go. We have got double waved yellow flags. Is it a safety car? I don't quite know. I don't think it would be. But I think we have got a VSC here, so a few drivers coming into the pits. Not people making Onzi. Most of them, I think, have gone past the pit lane at the point that we saw the VSC be deployed. So I don't think we're going to be getting a full safety car. But nonetheless, Ernie and Andrew also came into the pits during this little cautionary period, so they can benefit a little bit from that, but not too much because they are quite a long way behind. ZX10 is still leading, Cucumber second, Formula C third with Jordan fourth, and Corey currently P5 at this moment in time. Ernie there's got a drive-through penalty for speeding under the virtual safety car. That's going to be a real ball ache there for him. As Youngie there has moved ahead of Gavboy up into 9th place as well. And Andrew Pittsmith here has got ahead of Ernie up into 14th place. But in the meantime, it's still ZX10 who leads the race, just under a second the gap to Cucumber at the moment. As we see, we've got Cucumber now into the pits, actually at the end of lap 8, so he's going to be putting the hard tyres on, probably going to the end of the race from here. I would have thought one of the few drivers to stick the mediums on for the start. Most of them went for the hards, but we see a lot of the drivers now who went on the mediums for the start, now on the hard tyres. In fact, nobody who started on the mediums is out there on the track anymore, so it's now just the hard tyre starters out on the track. And the guys who are putting the hards on now, who started on the mediums, are going to be getting a bit of an undercut here, which will certainly help them out considerably. Ernie's just retired from the session, so that's another one bites the dust here, down to 15 drivers here in this race. Leaders here coming down the start finish straight once again. ZX10 just ahead of Formula C as they come down towards turn 1. Is Formula C close enough? Not really at the moment. Gavboy here is attacking on Angst, and it's got ahead there. Angst is actually coming to the pits there, so that's solved that one. Jordan being passed there by Corey. Jordan just a little bit too far away there on the back of Corey at the moment. So here they come then once again. We've got Jordan here now with the DRS here on the back of Corey, coming down towards Ascari. Formula C here, also having a look to the inside of ZX10. They're not quite in a position to do anything there at the moment. Formula C here with some slipstream here down towards the final corner. Has a little look to the inside of ZX10. Oh, he goes very low at the brakes there, almost runs into the back of ZX10 there. He'll get a bit of a DRS now to try and propel himself past the Mercedes. ZX10 is into the pits to put what I assume are going to be I mean, he's got to do a stint on medium tyres. Is he going to do 2 stints on medium tyres from now to the end of the race? That's going to be an interesting one. It's an early pit stop for somebody who started on the hard tyres, but he's doing something probably quite different from what the other hard tyre starters are doing. I reckon most of the hard tyre starters are going to probably go to about lap 17 or 18 and do a one-stopper. I mean, I feel like the guys who put the hard tyres on a couple of laps ago will almost certainly be doing a one-stopper with 19 laps needed to do on those hard tyres. The likes of Glenn might have to do another stop because he put his hard tyres on lap 5. So he'd have to do 22 laps if he were to get them to the end of the race. Onzi would have to do 20, Glenn had to do, sorry, Cucumber had to do 19, Noe Bootleg would also have to do 20, so there's a few drivers who would be able to one-stop potentially. But nonetheless, Formula C has got the gap up a second and a half here over Corey Brennan at the moment. Jordan Hillier looking to try and pile the pressure here on Corey at the moment. He's well in the fight here, is Jordan, tonight, for certainly a podium. Potentially more if he can keep himself in striking distance here of Formula C. He's only 2 seconds behind the leader at the moment, but he really needs to, well, Corey and Jordan need to kind of work together here to make sure they don't lose Formula C. They need to be fighting each other, but fighting each other in parts of the track where it doesn't cost either of them time. And Jordan's coming into the pits anyway, so that actually solves that problem before it had a chance to really manifest. So Jordan's definitely 2-stopping. That is for certain, as he puts the medium tyres on and is off and away just into the path there of the Haas of Murph, who's coming into the pits also to get the hard tyres off and get a set of medium tyres on. So there's 2 more drivers who are definitely 2-stopping here in this race. So who's going to be 1-stopping then? Formula C still leads the race by 1.6 seconds. Formula C is a driver who regularly does the one-stop strategy. But it leaves you very vulnerable in certain parts of the race. Mainly, well, if you're using the slower tyre for the first stint, it leaves you vulnerable during the undercut phase where the others have come into the pits. And then if you're using the faster tyre, it leaves you vulnerable towards the end when your tyres are inevitably wearing out because they're less durable. So it's not an easy job. Oh, it's Youngie in the background there in the Williams. I just saw going wide there out of Ascari, really struggling along. I think there's definitely a puncture on that car. So does that bring doubt now to the potential of a one-stop strategy here, because that car is really struggling along. Definitely a puncture there for Youngie into the pits, surely. No, okay, it wasn't a puncture, it must have been contact. That seemed a really strange trajectory as he was going through that corner, but it doesn't seem to be anything actually wrong with the car. But nonetheless, Cucumber there moving through ahead of Onzi. Obviously pitted a lap later than Onzi. 1 lap fresher tyres, pretty evenly matched in terms of their tyre situation, but Cucumber there dispatching him without any major issues there at all. Onzi got that 1 lap undercut. It's quite powerful, but Cucumber regains track position and now can try and chase down the Williams. He's now the highest runner of those who've pitted so far and is currently the net race leader as things stand. But obviously his tyres will be a lot older than the guys who are going to come out behind him once they make their stops. Those who are ahead of him, Formula C, Corey, Richie, those guys are going to have much fresher tyres than Cucumber by the time that they can make their pit stops. But obviously they'll have to wait for the mediums as well. They'll also have to wait for a point in the race where they can get the mediums to the end. If they're one-stopping, that'll be a little way to go yet, at least another 4 or 5 laps. Formula C continuing on his way. Corey likewise. Richie Chapper and Angry Guns I think are staying out. Angry Guns is in. And what about Gav Boy? Gav Boy is staying out. Youngie I think is staying out by the look of his line through this corner, so he's going to be passed here by Cucumber and Onzi as well now. And there's Cucumber just up ahead, you see there on the inside of the Williams there, now moving back to the racing line, making that move. Yeah, Onzi's going to try and follow him through here into turn 1. Youngie sees him coming on the inside, gives him the space. Doesn't say after you sir, but certainly he was very gentlemanly in how he went about that, and didn't fight it extremely hard, it has to be said. And Youngie now up into 7th place as a result of that one. Murphy is currently on the back of Angst in that fight for P12. ZX10er has got ahead of Youngie up into 7th. And Murphy is on the back of Angst in this fight for 12th place. They're going through Lesmo 1 here. Around half distance here in this Italian Grand Prix for the Red Arrows Formula 1 League. It's been an exciting one so far, and it's certainly the race for the win is going to be wide open, I'll tell you that much. It's going to be exciting to see how it all pans out. Cucumber currently the net race leader, but will have worn out tyres compared to the others around him towards the end of the race. Cucumber and Onzi are both going to have worn tyres. I wonder if Onzi is still planning on getting these hard tyres to the end. It'd be a 20 lap stint. I mean, that's no joke, I'm telling you that. The earliest, or rather the latest, pit stop on the medium tyres was, I think, after about 8 laps. I mean, that tells you a lot. So, you know, goodness knows how far they're going to have to get these hard tyres go to one stop on these medium tyres, the top 4. But they're all still sticking with it for the time being somehow. See Cucumber here now on the back of Gav Boyd, and he's going to try and make this move. Should be a routine move here with much fresher tyres, DRS enabled as well, and Cucumber there swoops around the outside of Ascari and up into 4th place without any further ado. And Onzi will now try and follow him through here down towards the Parabolica. Might have to wait for the main straight here. Cucumber's already out of DRS here to Gav Boyd, which is going to be good for Onzi because he'll get a free crack at this Ferrari without having to worry about him getting DRS on the car in front. Formula C and Corey are now into the pits to get their hard tyres off, and I would have thought mediums will be going on. Richie Chapper, ever the warrior in terms of tyre conservation, out on the track, 8.6 seconds ahead of Cucumber, who's the net race leader, but Richie Chapper, well, I assume you're putting the medium tyres on. I wouldn't be surprised me at all to see Richie go further than this lap as well. I have a feeling he'll want to guarantee these medium tyre shelf life, and for that reason I reckon he'll probably go to about lap 17, maybe even lap 18. I've seen this many times in the TTRL League on a Sunday night. So yeah, I expect something like that from Richie. I reckon he'll push this stint as ridiculously far as he can possibly go. And the only other driver to have pushed these tyres to this point so far is Youngie, who's running in 5th place at the moment. But not to the levels of success that Richie Chapper has enjoyed so far anyway. As Richie, as I predicted, staying out for at least another lap here. I reckon we'll see Richie Chapper in at the end of lap 18 personally. That's Cucumber back in the pits. Well. That's a surprise. So I assume another set of hard tyres probably for Cucumber. Be 11 laps to the end of the race. Yeah. So we'll obviously probably have a quicker final stint then. Richie was 8 seconds behind just a moment ago, so that's interesting. That is interesting. So now it's going to be a fight. I reckon it'd be a fight between well, Cucumber's going to be trying to chase down the likes of Formula C. Formula C is way ahead of Cucumber. You know, he's a few places ahead. He's a few seconds ahead. So Formula C going through Lesmo 1. There's Cucumber. He's going through the 2nd chicane. But Formula C's on the medium tyres, and the issue is, are the medium tyres going to get to the end? That's going to be the big kicker here, because their shelf life is not guaranteed. 12 laps on the medium tyres is not guaranteed, not by any stretch. So Richie Chapper coming into the pits at the end of lap 17, so that'll be a 10 lap run to the flag on the medium tyres. That should be able to go 10 laps. They won't be in great state, but they will most likely make it. ZX10 into the pits, so is Jordan Hillier as well. Also Murph into the pits. So a few drivers coming in here at the end of lap 17. Onzi out the front with a 7-second gap right now over Formula C at this stage. Formula C having recently put the medium tyres on, likewise Corey. But these guys, I think their tyres are going to be absolutely shredded by the end of this race. I reckon Richie Chapa will just about make it. I reckon 10 laps is probably doable. 12? Don't know. Not sure. Not sure, it's going to be close. Nonetheless, Onzi doing a great job right now, having put these hard tyres on lap 7. Be a 20 lap stint if he gets them to the end. I don't know if he's going to try and do that. That would be quite an incredible feat if he is attempting to do that, but he's 6 seconds ahead of Formula C at the moment. I'll tell you what, he does look somewhat... Oh no, he is coming in. I was about to say he looks somewhat committed at this point to a one stop, but he is coming into the pits. He'll be putting, I would have thought, a fresh set of mediums on to go to the end. Maybe some hards if he wants to ensure the safety of them to the end. But 9 laps shouldn't be an issue on the mediums. As we see Angry Guns there making the move on Angst here up into 3rd place on the medium tyres. Angry Guns I don't think can go to the end of the race though on those. As Onzi into the pits here, and Onzi just come back out onto the track. They're in 9th place. Gav Boy trying to challenge on the back of ZX10 right now in this fight for 7th place. ZX10 has come out on fresh hard tyres, so should theoretically have the pace on him to be able to pull away here in that fight. Angst is still sticking to the back of Angry Guns very nicely here in this fight for 3rd place. Jordan Hillier here is still on the back of Clen. So you've got Youngie, Clen and Jordan Hillier here. 3 of them separated by less than a second at the moment. As Gav Boy's got a 3-second penalty for track limits as well. So we've got Angry Guns into the pits here at the end of lap 19. 8 laps left to go. Presumably going to put another set of medium tyres on. ZX10 here has got the fastest lap of the race there. Currently running in P6, pulling away from Gav Boy there. He's going to try and reel in Cucumber. He's got 1 lap fresher tyres here then, Cucumber. This is going to be the battle for the win come the end of the race. Richie Chapa, one stopping it, has got the medium tyres on, which he put on at the end of lap 17. He's currently hassling Angst here for what's 3rd place on the road at the moment. Angst can probably get these hard tyres to the end of the race. He has got a penalty though, which will certainly be playing on his mind a bit at the moment. But for the top 2, Formula C and Corey, they're going to struggle to get these medium tyres to the end. They're going to be going easy on them at the moment, that's for sure, because they'll be fully aware of the fact that these tyres are not supposed to go this sort of distance. They're not supposed to do 12 laps around this track. As Richie has moved ahead of Angst up into 3rd place and can now try and chase down the front 2, who are going to be nursing their tyres to the end. Cucumber there running in P5, just about a second ahead there of ZX10. There's Gav Boy trying to keep Onzi at bay as they're going through the Parabolica. And Onzi here getting a lovely run there through the Parabolica and moving back up into 7th place here. But I'll tell you what, the Ferrari's not done. Gav Boy's tucking back into the slipstream and now looks to the outside with the DRS as well. It's going to be a move here for Gav Boy. Immediate reply there for him. It's a move you don't really want to make there into the Parabolica. Although I tell you what, he's not done yet. Onzi there swoops around the outside with a beautiful move there through the first chicane. It looked like Gav Boy had taken it straight back off of him, but Onzi says, absolutely not. I didn't do all that hard work for nothing, you know. And he's got him retaking the position brilliantly there. And it's now running in 6th place here in this race. as Nobby Bootnegg up into P14 because Angst has just come into the pits and has now re-emerged back out onto the circuit here. As Richie Chapper's now pulling up onto the back of Corey, has made light work of closing in on this second place man in the V-Carb, who's had a quiet race but gambled on a pretty early switch to the medium tyres to get the undercut and track position. So far it's working out for him. He's in a very solid podium place, but Richie's going to be putting a heavy pressure on him in a moment's time. We're also at the point in the stint now where Cucumber's tyres are going to be starting to feel a bit better than Richie's, being on the more durable hard tyres, so we might see that gap start to fall with 6 laps left to go, but the gap pretty significant, so Richie will be wanting to clear Corey as quickly as he can to avoid getting held up and giving Cucumber a chance here to close in. It's going to be interesting here because Formula C obviously made that switch like Corey as well many laps ago. Lap 15 he came in and got the hard tyres off, and we saw drivers getting the medium tyres off. The last driver to pit off of the medium tyres in the first stint was lap 8, and Formula C is attempting to do 12 laps. Currently leading the race still at the moment, but has he got the confidence and has he got the tread underneath him to be able to get him to the flag at the pace that he's going at, required to win the race? I mean, it's just unthinkable, but he's currently in a position to do it at the moment. It's Formula C once again through the Parabolica. He's a driver who has had some heroic wins here at Red Arrows. The one that stands out to me was the final race of last season at Albert Park. Took an absolutely sensational win, was 20th after the end of the first lap and ended up winning the race with a dramatic comeback. It was one of the best drives I've ever seen in my 7 years of commentating on sim racing. I mean, it really was something quite special. I know it's only a game, but to come back from that sort of situation, that takes a lot of belief and determination. But Richie nonetheless on the back of Corey as they come down towards that chicane, a bit too far back still in that fight. Cucumber and ZX Tinner still fighting out over 4th at the moment. Gavboy here is still ahead of Jordan in the fight for 7th place. Jordan's knocking on the door, trying to make some position gains here, but it's fallen off a little bit in this stint as Gavboy, Jordan he just wasn't as alive to that one as he needed to be there, and gets the position nonetheless up into 7th place. Gavboy here ahead of Youngie, now looking to try and get the move done here on Claire obviously overtaking him a moment ago due to that little mistake. Here he comes then, looking to the inside, and Gavboy's going to get his position back here off of Claire. I think, no, he's not. Hold on, he's dropped back massively there, so he's now under pressure here from Youngie, and Youngie's looking to the outside, but Gavboy with a better run there down the straight towards Parabolica. As Corey in the meantime has just got ahead of Richie Chapper into turn 1. So these two battling it out here over 2nd place. This is really helping Formula C, because obviously Corey now playing an absolute corker here. Richie can't make the move on him, and Richie on the fresher tyres, he just can't get himself into clean air. So this is giving Formula C a massive lifeline here. His tyres are going to be totally and utterly done at the end of this race, but he's got a 6-second gap right now over Richie Chapper. Richie is struggling to negotiate Corey here. So here we go, coming out of Lesmo 2. There's always the risk though that Formula C and Corey, to be fair, these two guys, their tyres could go pop on the last lap of the race. There's a high possibility of that happening. But here comes Richie on the back of Corey down towards the Parabolica. Has a look, thinks better of it for the time being. He'll make the move in a second down the main straight. Jordan Hideout's got a 3-second penalty there as he's continuing to keep Glenn behind him in the fight for 7th place. We're watching him out of a second though, as here comes Richie Chapper. He's now 7 seconds behind Formula C, so Formula C can just coast around these last 3 laps, doesn't need to push, doesn't need to risk those tyres, which are going to be hanging by an absolute thread at the moment. as we've got ZX10 now looking to the inside there of Cucumber, too far back into turn 1, thinks better of it and backs out for the time being. As Clen here is close on the back of Jordan, a little bit too far away there into turn 1, has to think better of that one as well. Gav Boy into the pits, playing it safe, deciding not to roll the dice and try and get those medium tyres to the end of the race. His tyres are the same age as Formula C and Corey, and he's bringing them into the pits. He says no, it's not worth it. Richie Chapper has gained over a second on this lap alone. I think the tyres are starting to hit the cliff here for the guys who put them on 12 or 10 laps ago at the moment. Richie Chapper will have to get his tyres 10 laps. Where Formula C is on his tyres now is where Richie Chapper will be with his tyres on the final lap of the race. So that just tells you how far these guys are trying to go. And Richie Chapper needs to be careful here, because his tyres are going to be like this on the final lap of the race. Obviously, Formula C is going to get it through this part of the track for sure. But, I mean, he's got 5 seconds. I don't think that's going to be enough. With the amount that Richie appears to have in terms of confidence right now, I think Richie's going to get him. But it's going to be close. It's going to be very, very close here. So Formula C leading the race here as they come into turn 1 here on lap 26, the penultimate lap here of this Italian Grand Prix. Richie Chapper trying to hunt him down. He's picked off the V-carb there of Corey, who's running in third place on the worn tyres. ZX10 and Cucumber are going to be hunting him down in these final couple of laps. That's for sure. Cucumber with a penalty there, ZX10 without one, so ZX10 will be hoping he can keep track position here, otherwise he'll feel like it was a bit of a waste. But nonetheless, Formula C here coming into Lesmo 1. Now this is the part of the track where the tyres are going to make a big difference. Richie Chapper on very worn out tyres of his own, but nothing close to what Formula C's on. But to be fair, has only gained about 7/10 so far on this lap. He needs to be gaining a bit more than that if he wants to really have a chance of winning this race. His only real hope now of Richie Chapper, I think, is probably that Formula C's tyres go pop on this last lap. Who knows? That is a realistic possibility. With the distance they've gone, they've done 11 laps now. This is going to be a tense final lap here for the race leader. Can he hold on? With just 3 miles left to go here in tonight's action for the Red Arrows Formula 1 League, round 3 of this 15 round season here for season 16, and Formula C has just got to nurse his way around this final lap of the race. Richie only gained a second on that last lap. He's not gaining enough to have a strong chance, but Formula C knows his tyres are almost done. This is going to be extremely tense. Here he comes into the De La Rocha chicane. You can see he's taking it very easy there. Richie Chapper there in second place. You've got Corey Brennan there in third. He's just about a second ahead of these two, ZX10 and Cucumber, who are going to have a lot more pace on this final lap and potentially are going to make the move on him here for third place. So ZX10 is going to be feeling pretty confident down this next DRS zone that he can get himself on the podium here, as here we come then out of Lesmo 2, and ZX10 here is going to get this move surely down the straight into Ascari and move himself onto the podium. Doesn't actually look like he's getting much of an overspeed here, and he's going to wait and have to tuck in here for the time being. So ZX10 for the time being unable to get himself onto the podium places. Corey looked like he was okay there through Ascari, and ZX10 might have to settle for 4th place here. In the meantime, Formula C coming out of Parabolica with a phenomenal tyre saving masterclass of a drive here. Put them on lap 15, got the undercut, and he is going to take the victory tonight. Formula C, the checkered flag is his once again, with Richard Chappie over in 2nd place. We're going to have Corey completing the podium ahead of ZX10. So he held on there. The Cucumber coming over in 5th place, actually a little way behind them in the end on the penalties. Onzi finishes in P6, about 2 seconds behind them. Jordan Hillier in 7th, with Clen over in P8. Angry Guns gets 8th on the penalties there, with Clen dropping to 9th. Youngie classified 10th in the end. Murph is going to come around in 11th. Andrew Pittsmith 12th, with they're crossing the line in 13th place. Angst in 14th. And Gav Boy with the last driver to cross the line in a moment. He's just coming up towards the line, and it's going to be P15 there for Gav Boy, but what could have been here? He was in a good position earlier on, but massive shout out to Formula C on a brilliant job there, saving the tyres towards the end. I thought we were going to have an absolute grandstand finish, but in the end he had it in hand and he was comfortably ahead in the closing stages. It wasn't particularly as tense as I thought it was going to be there, so well done to Formula C for keeping his nerve and not panicking in that situation. Saved his tyres beautifully. And that is that then for Red Arrows tonight, guys. Back as always next time for round 4 of the season. And yeah, thanks to the Red Arrows League for having us once again. And I'll see you for the next one.